Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Bemi for the Future channel. Good morning, good afternoon and good evening depending on where you are watching from. I'm going to be reading the news shortly, but if you have been watching without subscribing, please click the red button below and turn on notification so that anytime we upload you will be notified. Thank you. Yes, Louis Farrakhan is an American religious leader and a political activist. He is the leader of the Nation of Islam (NOI), an organization which the Southern Poverty Law Center describes as black nationalist and a hate group. Previously, he served as the Minister of Mosque in Boston and Harlem and had been appointed National Representative of the Nation of Islam by former NY leader Elijah Muhammad. Here is what he had to say. Minister Louis Farrakhan, who leads the Nation of Islam, made headlines on Monday after Fox Soul TV announced they would air his speech on the 4th of July. Soon after, CNN anchor Jake Tapper tweeted that Farrakhan was an anti-LGBTQ, anti-Semitic misogynist, while rapper Ice Cube defended the minister's reputation. Although Farrakhan's speech was no longer televised on Fox, it was streamed online, but his polarizing address, which among other things claimed that Dr. Fauci, Bill Gates and Melinda wanted to depopulate the earth, followed a decades-long career of shady behavior. Dr. Fauci, Bill Gates and Melinda, you want to depopulate the earth. Do not take their medications. That is what he said in the videos. We're going to be watching a few clips of the video shortly of what he has been saying about vaccination. But here are just a few major controversies. He was allegedly involved in Malcolm X's murder. Malcolm X's family often accused Farrakhan of being involved in the 1965 assassination, just 1 year after Malcolm publicly criticized the Nation of Islam. In a 1994 interview, Malcolm X's wife Betty Shabazz told a reporter that Farrakhan spoke openly about murdering Malcolm and that he wore it as a badge of honor. In an interview with 60 Minutes in 2000, Farrakhan admitted that he had played a role in the murder and said he regretted the incendiary language that might have encouraged it. He did not, however, admit that he was directly involved in plotting the assassination. He was praised as Adolf Hitler in a 1984 radio interview. He was referred to as Black Hitler by the Village Voice. Farrakhan said in a radio interview that he was flattered by the comparison. Hitler was a great man, he said. He rose Germany up from nothing. There have been several instances since in which Farrakhan has attacked Jewish people. In a speech in March, he asked a crowd of thousands, "What black man do you know has been more ridiculed and evil spoken of by these satanic Jews other than the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan?" In a 1993 speech in New York City owned theater, Farrakhan banned women from attending. 1 year later, he gave a speech encouraging women not to abandon homemaking for careers. More recently, in a speech he gave in Chicago on February 23rd, Farrakhan said that same-sex marriage was created by Satan and his manipulation of biology and chemistry. Although Farrakhan has long advocated for black lives and black emancipation, he continues to be highly divisive for his methods and polarizing rhetoric. If you remember back in May 2019, Facebook banned Louis Farrakhan for his extreme ideology. He has also been banned on Twitter, YouTube for his extreme ideology. Kindly watch the video and let me know what you think about the vaccination.
See, I was going to Africa one day, and I had to get a shot. And I asked the doctor, who was a friend of mine, before you give me that shot, do you know what's in that vial that you're vaccinating me with? He said, yes, it's on the label. I ain't asked about the label. I asked you, did you know what was in that vial? His answer, no, I really don't know. How could we let the former colonial and slave master bring in vaccines for our people, and we don't have scientists or laboratories to look at this and test it to see if it is what is on the label? Now, I may not get a chance in my lifetime to come back to Belize, but I do love you, and I want you to love yourself. Thank you, and I will always love you as well. Now, look, I know this is not easy for you to swallow, but I have a little more to give you to swallow. Look, I was in Zimbabwe. Have you heard of that country? Its president is Robert Mugabe. I was in the capital of Zimbabwe, and they were telling me that 5,000 Zimbabweans are dying every week, 20,000 a month from AIDS. And the biggest industry in Harare, which is the capital, is the making of coffins. I was the guest of the Ministry of Health. Please listen. And my sister who was talking, she said, we are so happy that every child in Zimbabwe has been vaccinated. Every child. You trust your enemy too much. The enemy came to the native people in America, the Indians, and said, in the winter, you all need blankets. We're going to supply blankets. But they put smallpox in the blankets, and when the Indians wrapped themselves in the blankets, they were wiped out. You're dealing with an enemy that is a murderer from the beginning and a liar, so says Jesus in the book of St. John. Look, man, I know what I am talking about. See, they won't confront me. They talk about me, but they won't confront me. Because the truth in the mouth of a man who is not afraid to give his life for his people makes him a dangerous man. Right now, there are AIDS and African genocide, illegal wars. Look at President Obama, our brother. We were so happy when he was elected president, and he wasn't in office 3 months when they gave him the Nobel Peace Prize. and the man is bombing, let me see how many countries. He's bombing in Yemen, in Somalia, in Iraq, in Afghanistan. See, what you doing? Just sending drones. What is a drone? It's something that flies. No pilot, but somebody back in a room is guiding this drone, and it's dropping bombs, killing even American citizens that they say are enemy combatants. I wonder what they got for me. Right now, the President of the United States is given authority to assassinate American citizens. There's a group that can pick out somebody that they feel is an enemy to America's policies, and they'll send somebody to assassinate them. I understand that 4 members, so-called gang members, didn't wake up one morning because in the middle of the night, their throats were cut, nearly ear to ear. Who you think killed them? Anytime a black man can organize men, he's dangerous. And if he don't play ball with the real demons, it ain't another gang killing them. That's high up stuff. That's high up stuff. Look at what the scripture says. We war not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers and the rulers of the darkness of this world and spiritual wickedness that's up in high places.